Think that's a good enough intro? What is up, my foggy friends, and welcome back to the channel. First and foremost, I'd like to just say thank you to all of you who've out there watched my previous video on the watch here. Holy cow, mind-blowing. That's all I can say about that. Thank you for all those who have subscribed. I really appreciate it. All right, let's get into this. So, if you obviously already know what we're going to be reviewing here in this video, and it's going to be my Note 20 Ultra. First, we're going to go ahead and go over the specs of this bad boy, so let's go ahead and go over that. They'll be right about here on the screen. So first I want to say, I've owned this phone since September 26th of 2020. I went and bought this. And the basic specs of this thing is it's IP68 water and dust resistant. It's got some Gorilla Glass Victus. Don't really know what that means. I just know it's Gorilla Glass, and that's good. AMOLED screen with a 120 hertz refresh rate. It's got a 91.7% screen-to-body ratio. The screen is 6.9 inches. The CPU for the US is a Snapdragon 865 Plus. If you're elsewhere in the world, it is an Exynos 990. It comes with 3 storage options, a 128, 256, or 512 gigs of storage with 12 gig of RAM. It is also expandable storage. Has a triple camera setup, 108 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel periscope, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide. It also records video up to 8K at 24 frames per second, but from some reviews that I saw of that, we're not going to get into that very much. We'll look at some pictures, but we're not going to get into the video camera. You can record at 4K, 30 or 60 frames per second, and 1080p up to 240 frames per second. The front-facing camera is 10 megapixels, and if you're going to record video, it's 30 frames at 1080p, or up to 60 frames at 4K. And finally, it has a 45 milliamp battery with a 25 watt fast charge. So, those are the basic specs right there. Now, in case you don't notice, this thing is really well used. It's got some scrapes up on the top. It's got some scrapes on the bottom, scrapes on the side. The screen isn't the prettiest, you know. But let's just be honest. I've been using this now for quite some time, and I really just want to give you my thoughts on my phone. It cost $1,300 to buy this phone outright. And so far, really am enjoying this phone. It is a chunky boy. It is a big boy. Alright, so those are the specs. And TLDR, really simple. If you like Samsung and you own an older Samsung phone, like the S9, anything that's the 9 range, then this is a solid upgrade. I love it. That's it. TLDR is plain and simple. I spent the money on it. It was worth every penny in my personal opinion. Now, if you want to get into the meat and potatoes of things, then come along for the ride. So, we're just going to get immediately into some stuff that I don't like about this phone. First thing is first. The price. $1,300 American is what this was. So, yeah, I get it. It's a flagship phone. You pay for the best, you get the best. I get it. But I am going to be the guy, because I bought it with my own money, and this will be the way that it is for forever, for my whole channel. If I think the price is too high, I'm going to say it. Price is just too damn high. There are other phones out there, from what I understand, in my own little bit of research that I've done, that do everything that this bad boy does, and sometimes better, with the exception of the S Pen, for less money. I don't know how much less money, because things have changed since I bought this phone, since I did a lot of research on it beforehand. But that's just what this was when I originally bought the phone. Do you see the no headphone jack? Now I get it. We're all moving to Bluetooth, and everything is getting Bluetooth and stuff like that. But I really would like to not have to go buy a dongle so I can use some basic old school cans or some simple earbuds that I can just pop into my ear without having to go get some Bluetooth headphones. That being said, I have Bluetooth headphones, so I don't care about it, really. It's something that I definitely need, you definitely got to think about if you're going to spend the money on this phone. And most phones are going this way anyways, so what does it really matter? You weigh it, you know, it's up to you. Other than that, I don't have that many complaints about this phone. This thing is a beast. I love it. I'm going to show you a quick comparison of size between my S9 and my Galaxy, my Note. And let's just look at that. That's a big difference. So it's a little bit thicker in the pocket, so to speak. It takes up more pocket space, especially if you're going to put on a protective case on it like I usually do. I just have it out for the review so you guys could kind of see it. You know what I'm saying? It usually sits in an OtterBox case, or I have it sitting in the Samsung case. All right, let's dive into what I feel are the pros of this phone. First things first, it's a pretty big phone. I love it. I love this S Pen. And if you want to know more about the S Pen, and I can do a video on this thing. The screen is extra bright when I need it to be extra bright. The battery life is incredible, at least for me. I do have the screen brightness on adaptive because, you know, sometimes when I'm laying in bed, I don't need my screen to blind me when I open it up. And during the day, in the sunlight, if the sun's hitting the sensor, then the screen will brighten up further beyond what 100% is if I manually set it. My battery life on this thing, honestly, it will get all the way through a whole day's work of me fiddling with it, me playing music on it, me watching some YouTube during my lunch break, and I'll still go to bed with 30 to 40% of the battery. That being said, on days that I heavily use it, that I really am working it, that I'm doing something with my S Pen, that I'm looking at a lot of YouTube or something along those lines, whatever it may be, consuming content or whatever, then my battery life will, you know, it'll come all the way down to about 10 or 15%, and I'll have to put it on the charger. And, well, by that time, I'm basically going to sleep anyways. So let's talk about the camera. So I've taken a couple of pics here, and I'm going to compare the Pixel 2, which is, in my opinion, a great photo taker, to my Galaxy Note 20. Here's some simple side-by-sides of my setup, and I zoom in on the Pink Floyd thing that my wife made me for you to get a good visual of what is going on and how the cameras work. And obviously, you see that very last photo there, the one that has the 50 times zoom. That is something I don't think anybody's ever gonna honestly use. It is ridiculous. Why? You know what I'm saying? I don't. Anyway, on to the next thing. When I'm consuming content with this, YouTube, music, anything that's creating some sound, the stereo speakers in it sound great. They're loud, they're clear. But I did some comparisons. So my daughter has an iPhone 11. I think that's just exactly what it is the iPhone 11. So her phone doesn't get as loud, but it's more full. The sound is more full. It's got more bass to it. It just sounds just a little bit better. But mine is definitely a lot bit louder. So after using it for many months now, what do I honestly feel about this phone? Well, I love it. I love the phone. I think it's great. I think it's a good phone. It does great. I don't have any problems with it. I have it restart every single night. That's something that you can set in the settings. I highly recommend that if you do get a phone, a Galaxy Note, or whatever the new Galaxy, whatever it may be, figure out how to use some of the Bixby stuff. A lot of people talk a ton of crap on Bixby. I get it. See, I get it. I do. But it really is just nice to figure out its routines. Figure out the routines. Work with that. If you want to know more about that, let me know down in the comments, and I will definitely give you an example of that. I personally think the routines are super awesome. But if you're trying to be like, hey, Bixby, what's the weather like today? What's the weather like today? See what I'm saying? Ridiculous. The under the screen fingerprint sensor. It's so, it's just so nice. It's quick, it's pretty responsive, it's underneath the screen. Really cool. That being said, if I compare it to other fingerprint sensors that I've had in the past, for example, my Pixel 2 is just instant, whereas this takes a second or two. But that's okay, I don't really care. Facial recognition, it's so fast. Let's see if I can do this. See what I'm saying? Here. Boom. Look at it. I hope that you're getting this. Look at that. I love it. I think that's so awesome. Honestly, guys, I could just keep going on and on about this phone. Because I really do think it's a good buy. I think it's a good phone. Especially if I compare it to my phones of the past. That's my honest take on this phone. It's a good phone. I love that my fingerprints don't fingerprint up this. It's a good looking phone. I stick it in a case. Today we're going to rock this one as I drop it on the floor. And away we go. Anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for this video. I'm not sure what else I need to say or how else I need to say it. Again, new to this whole thing, so you know how it works. Learning as I go is definitely something I'm doing. Thanks so much for watching. I so appreciate it. Thanks so much for subscribing. I appreciate that. And I will be looking for the comments in the comments, and I will respond. It may take me a second, because sometimes I just don't notice. I sleep during the night because I have to get up at 4 a.m. so I can be at work to do my job. Obviously, YouTube is not my main job. Maybe we'll get there one day. For now, I don't know. I got more reviews on stuff coming, guys, so stick with me here, and we'll keep this this whole entire fun thing going. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.